Hello everyone out there. Welcome back to Paradise on Pennies. I'm Heather. That's Kluani Dog, part of the POP dog pack we call it. We've got 3 rescue dogs and we live on the road full time in this truck camper. It's kind of our little tiny home on wheels, we call it. And we've been doing this for years now. And if you guys have been following along, then you kind of know some of our favorite things to do are definitely things that are low cost, but they involve things like hiking and rock hounding, and a lot of it revolves around these guys, these crazy dogs. So we kind of follow what the dogs want to do, and when we're in town, we pretty much go to dog parks, and when we're not in town, we pretty much just hike all over with the dogs and play with the dogs, which for me is an absolute wonderful life. I love being around the dogs, so no complaints here. And I don't think the dogs are complaining either, because their lives are pretty awesome for dogs. So today I just wanted to kind of talk a little more about dogs and having dogs on the road, and I'll do a lot of other discussions on these topics. There's lots of things to talk about, tips I could give you guys if you're an aspiring nomad. Even things that you can take away even if you're not a nomad, but you just live simple with dogs. But today I want to talk just in general about just the idea of being a nomad with dogs. I mean, is it a good idea? Should nomads have dogs? If you're thinking about it, should you get a dog? And I guess not just a dog, it could be any pet, but I think a dog probably lends itself a little better to this lifestyle. I guess you could travel with a cat or something else too if you wanted to, but it's a bit of a different dynamic. So while I guess it'll be open to other pets, my focus is likely to be a little more heavily on the dog side of things today. So here's the thought. In general, if I wanted to give like a quick answer, I'd say yes, absolutely. Every nomad should have a dog. And I'm judging that obviously more on us and the way that we live. If people are living on the road a little more like us, then absolutely, why wouldn't you have a dog? Because like I said, it's really good for them. And it's really good for us. It's just, the dogs motivate us to get up in the morning. I get going and be energetic and, hike really far. And we would probably do that anyway, but they're definitely motivators. And they make me laugh and they do silly things. And they make funny faces, and when Kluani sits down, he farts almost every time. So, stuff like that makes you smile. That's dogs. There's benefits to both sides, health-wise, mentally, physically, so dogs are great. Okay. But I definitely would want it to be good for the dogs if people are getting them. So I guess not in every case, it's not always going to be good for the dog, and you can judge that for yourself. You guys know if you're going to be, say, maybe you're going to van life and you're going to be having to work from inside your van and be parked in the city a lot, it's probably not going to be too great for the dog if they get to sit in a van. Or even something to consider, if you're thinking of starting off and pretty much hitting all the national parks up, you can definitely do this with a dog, but I will warn you, national parks are not really super dog friendly, so you're not going to be really able to go on all the trails and go into the backcountry with your dog. So you might at least want to be thinking about going to different regions with your dog other than the national parks, or you can kind of drive through, see the national park, but you're not really going to be able to spend a whole lot of time there. There is like a dog program in the parks now that I've heard about. I need to follow up with it. Last time I heard there was something that was like a program where they were trying to allow dogs in a little more, but I highly doubt that that's being taken too far. I think there's just going to still be select trails where you can have your dog in the parks. Maybe just on those select trails and really specific spots. Makes it hard traveling in national parks. So keep that in mind if you are going to be a nomad, if you're going to van life or something like that with dogs. And so if you're going to be, like a digital nomad, you're going to travel, your focus is on travel, but your office is going to be in your van and you're going to be parked in a city, maybe not. If you just want to hit up all the national parks, maybe not. Or if you have a physical job and you have to be gone and say leave the dog in the vehicle, again, not going to be good, especially, I mean, if it's going to be warm. Thinking about whether or not you can leave the dog depends on your rig. I mean, we don't really ever leave the dogs in our situation. But in other situations, you might have to for some periods of time. We do like to go to museums sometimes, and it all depends on the weather and things like that as to whether or not we can leave the dogs for like an hour or so to go into the museum. And it's definitely something we can really only do if it's cold weather or cool weather, not hot, if we have a safe place to park the vehicle. And what really makes a difference now is our rig. I think that if we were in a van, this would be less than possible because it depends. There's lots of different types of vans, but a lot of them just have this layout that I don't think would be conducive to leaving a dog in it for much time at all. Whereas the truck camper here, with all the, windows and everything that we talk about, the airflow is amazing in here, and it pretty much self-regulates. I mean, we can be comfortable in here up to like 90 degrees. It starts to get warm at 90, but that tells you something. If there's airflow outside, we're fine. And now when it drops down to be pretty cold, like it does sometimes in like the 20s or 30s at night, it's chilly, but we've got a lot of mammalian heat going on in here, so we do okay. But that we got a pretty big range of temperatures with the camper. That's one of our favorite things about it. So depends on your rig too, something to consider. Now, all of that put aside, really important considerations, but all of that put aside, if you can do it, and I mean, if you're going to be like a single traveler, and yeah, you don't have someone else with you, like Rams and I have each other, and that makes a big difference. But if you don't, or even if you're a couple or whatever, friends traveling around, a dog can really add to it, and they can be a great companion, and like I said, a motivator. And the big consideration in here is, I think last time I looked, the number of animals, this is dogs and cats, that enter shelters every year is like 6 to 7 million. That is a massive, massive number. Yeah. And I believe it was somewhere around half were dogs. So give or take around 3 million dogs entering shelters. I mean, that's really sad for them. They have the same needs as we do in terms of wanting to be loved, wanting to have companionship, needing nourishment, wanting exercise, and all that. So it makes me really sad. That's not a small number. That's not really a number we can handle. So any chance we can get to really rescue a dog and take them along with us on these incredible nomadic adventures, I'd say that absolutely get a dog and take them with you. You will be doing something awesome for another living being, which is what we should strive for. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I am saying getting one from a shelter, please, if you can, because, a shelter or a rescue, the rescues get the dogs from shelters too. There's different kinds of organizations out there, but get one of these dogs that deserves a good home. I don't want to support breeding of dogs because of that number. Look at the number of dogs that are in the shelter. We definitely don't need more. I love dogs, but we don't need more. We need them to have a higher quality of life. But yeah, the nomadic life is amazing for a dog. So if you can, please do. I'd say you could almost make an argument for kind of a responsibility here to, if we're an able nomad, to rescue a dog and take it with you. Heck, you can even find one on the street too and rescue them that way and take them with you. So whatever. It's just if you can, there's so many different types of dogs for your different living situations. And they would be forever grateful because these guys are happy, happy beings. And I love them so much. And they add so much to our adventures. And if you want to do your travels on a budget, having a dog's great. They don't really cost that much if you do it right. I mean, yes, they can get sick. And yes, they need to be fed. But Still, you just kind of know that in your budget, and you prepare for it, and you'll be okay. But you're giving them a wonderful life. They're giving you a wonderful life, and together we can hopefully save all these animals that deserve an amazing life too. So that's my thoughts for today. Like I said, I will talk a lot more. Today I just wanted to touch on that, this idea of if people are thinking, oh, I'm going to hit the road. Should I have a dog? Should I have, a companion animal with me? Yes, given the other things I talked about. And we can give you guys ideas too. If you're not sure, like I said about the national park thing, and you're like, well, where should I go instead? Because I was thinking hitting up all the national parks. Well, we do it, and we don't really go to national parks anymore because of that. We did hit a few when we really first started off because they're amazing landscapes and there's something to see. But after we saw them, because of the crowds and the lack of the dog friendliness, we've pulled back from really going to national parks. So once you get to that point, we can give you a lot of good ideas on things to do with them. I do post a map on the website of some of the dog parks. We started reviewing dog parks because we went to so many when we passed through towns. That's pretty much all we do. That's a free thing to do in town. We can give you ideas on good hiking trails for dogs. Some are definitely better than others. Walking old forest roads is way easier than, say, walking trails in towns, because a lot of times the trails in towns are, I don't know, there just tends to be too many people, and then the leash issues. These guys like to be wild child, so we like them to be able to roam. They're so happy. The best sight is seeing the dog flopping through a field with their ears flying up, and Kluwani does the bounce thing through the field, and it makes my heart feel amazing, and I laugh at him. Watching them scramble around, and it's amazing. So, yeah. So I'll leave it at that today, but like I said, just check out the site and let us know if you have questions or if you're traveling with a dog. And as many of you know, many of the pictures and videos and everything revolve around our dogs here. And they will continue to do so. So, yeah. So a hi from Kluwani up there. He's napping because we did go on a big hike this morning, and now we're just kind of relaxing. Lily's beside me. She's snoring. So if you hear the snoring, that's her. Hannah's tromping around with Rams out there. Those two are the biggest energy, the most energetic ones in the family. So I'm going to enjoy my peace and quiet here and relax with these guys, and then we'll probably go for another walk, and that's our day. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope I inspired you to save a dog, and I hope I inspired you to get out there and have a great adventure with them. I will keep that other content coming along about dogs, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody. If you liked this, go ahead and give it a like. It helps us out. It helps other people know it's a useful video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up on all of our adventures with the dogs and camping recipes and all our tips and tricks about living on the road and doing this on a budget. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.